Today on the Travel Magazine, join us as we visit the Caribbean island of Antigua. But first, to Algonquin Provincial Park in Ontario, Canada. Algonquin Park is one of Canada's oldest and largest parks. Hi, I'm Jake de Boer.
And I'm Mieke de Boer, and welcome to this edition of the Travel Magazine.
Its influence goes far beyond the preservation of its land. For everyone who's been touched by it, and the many more who will be, the park offers an opportunity to create a strong bond with this great Canadian wilderness.
Algonquin Park is a large, wild area that has proven very attractive to people for over 100 years now. It was established in 1893. Even back then, it was recognized that there was a need to protect this upland area, and a number of major rivers have their origin here. So the idea was to preserve a large tract of forest in this area, and in so doing, protect the headwaters of these major rivers. It is an area where you get to see wildlife on a regular basis. You may hear wolves, you may see moose or deer, beavers. Certainly the feeling of wilderness is important. For a lot of people, they're totally away from the development of man. That's the attraction. There have been children's camps in Algonquin Park for a long time. I think that, some of the earliest ones go back to the World War I era. And a number of people have come to the camps, then gone on to become counselors at the camps, then had families of their own that they sent back to camp.
For the kids who've gone to camp here in the park and grown up, it's a very special sort of traditional camp experience, park experience in a way that you don't find at other children's camps.
2, 3 generations of one family coming back again and again to the park. And they really feel strongly about what a wonderful place it is and how it should be managed.
Dan, are you okay? Fine, are you? Yeah.
This is about a kilometer, just over half a mile, Mieke.
I think that I'm doing all the carrying. Whoops.
Great.
Have a good trip.
Thanks a lot.
Hi, my name's Tim from the Portage store in Algonquin Park, and what we do at the store here is outfit you for your canoe trips. With over 1,500 kilometers of canoe routes, there's quite a bit you need to know, and just a few things you need to take with you to be set up once you get out there. The first and most obvious thing you're going to need to get your campsite is a canoe. Now you've got your canoe. Before you're going to get anywhere, you're going to need some paddles. We'll provide those for you, but you're going to have to provide the elbow grease yourself. Not only is it a law here to have a flotation device for each person in the canoe, it's also a great idea for safety in case anything should happen out on the lake. What you're going to need out there while you're in canoe country is something to protect you from the elements. What we will provide for you is a tent, and this will be your accommodation for the night. A few of the basic necessities you're going to need once you get to your site may consist of some of these items I have here in front of me, such as first aid kit, water bottles, cook kit, stove, and of course the food. Last but not least, your bed. What makes canoe camping Algonquin all the more worthwhile.
For half a mile, Mieke.
Many people come to our organized campgrounds along Highway 60, and there are hundreds of sites available there. Other people choose to go into the interior of the park, camping at designated sites, traveling by canoe or on our backpacking trails. There are other people who wish to have roofed accommodation. There are 3 major lodges in the park where people can stay.
Killarney Lodge is located in Algonquin Park, and it consists of private cabins where you can come and stay, and we provide all the meals. It's very much like staying at a country inn, and you can go out on canoe outings and hiking and walking. We're trying to provide an alternative to people who don't want to come up to the park and just rough it and camp. During the day you can go out and do all the sorts of things in the park that you'd like to do and still have somewhere nice and comfortable to stay at afterwards. We have private cabins all on the water's edge. They're log and pine construction and very nicely furnished with a deck looking out over the water. Of course, we have a lovely dining room. It was built over 60 years ago out of original Algonquin Park white pine logs. We also can pack picnic lunches, and on any given day, probably half of our guests have taken picnic lunches and have taken one of the canoes from in front of their cabin, or maybe gone on a hiking trip to go and see wildlife. Algonquin Park is very special to me. I often think when I walk around here late at night and I look up and see the stars in that very clear sky or hear the loons calling in the lake, what a wonderful magical spot it is. How lucky I am to be here, I guess, and to be able to share it and bring it to other people who can come here and enjoy it by staying at Killarney Lodge. When the opportunity came up to take over Killarney Lodge from the previous owners, I leapt at it. It just seemed like such a wonderful opportunity to be up here, and I have no regrets about being here. It's a hard business. We work very hard during the summer month, but it's a very rewarding one because you meet so many interesting and enjoyable people coming through the lodge.
We will be back with more of the Travel Magazine just after this, so stay with us.
Avery's and Sons go back a long way around here. I've been making paddles for, I'm around the third generation. It all started with my grandfather coming this part of the country. He settled, he owned and operated Opeongo Lodge, and making snowshoes and paddles was a pastime in their off seasons, in their winter months. Many people think of me as an artist in the shop. You definitely have to start out with good grade material. You need some good hardwood. We saw it out at the shape on the bandsaw, and then we lined to get center points to put it on the copy lay. It makes 2 paddles every half hour, and it's a homemade lay that my father made some 40 years ago. So it's made many paddles. It runs pretty well all summer long. It does at least 75% of the work for us. It gives us a nice straight shaft to work with. In 1 year of making snowshoes, we make approximately, on average, 300 to 400 pair. This is a beef hide. We're going to put it on the pole, and we're going to shave all the hair off it. This here material is what we use for the strings, and it's going to be stretched into the snowshoes. And this cow is going to be fortunate enough to keep on walking. After the hide is all fleshed and shaved and cleaned all up, we'll cut the material into strings. Physical fitness and that really made snowshoes a comeback. You know, most people want to get out today and get around a little bit, and you get 3 feet of snow and you just don't go for a walk without a pair of snowshoes. In 1 year of making snowshoes, we make approximately, on average, 300 to 400 pair. These are finished snowshoes. The 2 different styles is, we like to just call it round and a pointed. But traditionally, this would be a Ojibwe Indian style snowshoe, and this could be a Maine, Michigan, Huron, Cree. There's all different kinds of round snowshoes, traditional Indian styles. This is where we were born and raised. The park gives us our livelihood. I mean, we're fortunate that we can have a product that we can make to sell to tourists and those that need the paddles in the park and snowshoes. So.
Look at this around the corner.
I'm a naturalist professionally and by avocation. I'm amazed by the fact that I've spent so much time here and still have so much to learn about it. And in my retirement, which is imminent, I expect to spend even more time in the park exploring. There's so much of it I haven't even seen, and what I have seen, I want to go back to.
We've been looking and looking, and I think this is the ideal spot.
This is a good spot,
So
Vic.
let's-
Excellent.
Let's take our things
It's right
off.
at the lake. Beautiful.
Good.
So now it's the tent.
This is wonderful. This is the Canadian outdoors.
The coffee, darling.
Yeah. Tonight.
Do you hear the thunder?
I love it. What is that?
Welcome to Antigua.
Under a warm tropical sky with palm trees rustling and a gentle breeze.
Antigua has become one of the most popular destinations in the Caribbean. With its rich heritage, lush rainforest, and 365 pristine white beaches, you could take a year to discover all of them. Located in the Eastern Caribbean, Antigua lies in the heart of the Leeward Islands. Christopher Columbus discovered the island in 1493 while searching for new routes in the West Indies, but its history dates back over 4,000 years when it was inhabited by Stone Age tribes. Is it Antigua or Antigua?
It's Antigua.
Why?
Antigua because that's the way we pronounce it here on the island, and we don't say it like the Spanish, Antigua. Yeah. Antigua.
Antigua.
Antigua. Antigua. There are lots of things you can do on the island. The shopping is good. We have 365 beaches. You know, the nightlife is great. You can sample the local cuisine, try something spicier and nice. The Heritage Key area, you find vendors plying their trade where you can pick up t-shirts, maracas, woodwork, oil paintings, that sort of thing, little steel drums, and don't fool yourself. Those steel drums, they're marked out just like the big ones and they make the same sound, so you can play almost any tune on them. And you have the cathedral, the St. John's Cathedral, which overlooks St. John's itself. It's a beautiful church. It's a very old church. It's 148 years old. And we celebrate Mass there every day. We're very religious people, but that is one of the landmarks of the island as well.
Betty's Hope tells the story of how sugar and rum were produced during the island's colonial period.
Betty's Hope was founded in 1650. This mill existed for like over 250 years, and it was the most prosperous of all the mills in Antigua. Sugar and rum was made here at Betty's Hope. There were slaves brought here from Africa. In 1827, there were 310 slaves here at Betty's Hope. We're trying to restore Betty's Hope. We're trying to bring it like into an open-air museum that people could come and know what went on at Betty's Hope. Well, we have completed the restoration of the mill, and from there we'll go to rebuilding some of the slaves' houses and the manager's house.
Devil's Bridge is located on the northeast shore of Antigua.
It's a natural bridge formed by the surfs pounding on it, and there was an old myth attached to that place where the slaves would be up there and they said that you would throw 2 eggs over and the devil would boil them and send one back to you. But of course, it's just a myth.
Nelson's dockyard is the only existing example of a Georgian naval dockyard in the world today. The dockyard was named after the Admiral Horatio Nelson, who fought and won the Battle of Trafalgar. The stone pillars, they supported boathouse and sail loft in which the damaged sails from the ships were repaired. That building was destroyed in 1843 by an earthquake. The dockyard, it is naturally beautiful.
Fig Tree Drive is a picturesque feast of tropical foliage and lush vegetation.
Fig Tree Drive is a rainforest, very lush area. Any type of tropical fruit that you can think of is grown in that part of the island. Very lush and green because it's hilly around there, so it has something to attract the rain, and it's naturally beautiful.
What makes you stand out from other islands in the West Indies?
We stand out here because we're a small destination compared to some of the other islands. Antigua has under 3,000 bedrooms. We are not in the large volume market compared to Santo Domingo, Cuba, or even Barbados and Aruba, which has well over 8,000 bedrooms. We are small. We want to remain more personalized. We want to have a product which is unbeatable, and to capitalize on the major part of our product, that's the people in the island is friendly. There's so much to see. If you want to go sailing, the coastlines of Antigua is beautiful. You want to go driving, you have a scenic drive through the countryside, seeing some of the lovely, lovely beaches, and then ending up at Shirley Heights, where a lot of the locals and the tourists meet. Hawksbill Beach Resort. The second part of it, beach resort, as you see, you are situated on the beach. You have 4 of probably the best beaches in Antigua. Secondly, you have just outside on the second beach, the head of a hawksbill turtle. So the name Hawksbill Beach Resort, that is where it originally started off. One of the beaches here is closed optional. There are nude beaches all over the world, but over here we have one where people are allowed to go there with their clothes on. But if you feel that you want to take all your clothes off or be topless, you have your choice. People enjoy listening to the Caribbean music, music which is played on a pan. It's a steel band music. It gets you going. It creates a lovely atmosphere, a party type Caribbean atmosphere.
Mainly the people are looking for the sun, for the sea, and basically enjoy themselves with the water sports and whatever we have to offer here. Most of the resorts on the island offer, as far as water sports are concerned, is they offer sunfish, windsurfing. We're the only resort who offering ubicats. You also get some of the resorts will offer skiing, hydro bikes, aquacycle, and a whole bunch of equipment to use, which is quite nice and safe at the same time. We offer lessons on windsurf and sunfish, and also twice a day, water ski twice a day. And at the end of their stay, they all get a certificate for each lesson that they got with us.
Speed, put it into the wind, and push back. Let it up. All right? The rudder controls the direction of the boat, okay?
Antigua is a small island, 64,000 people living on the island. It's 108 square miles, it's very peaceful, and it's also very safe. So I recommend it for everyone to come and visit us.
Well, that's it for this edition of the Travel Magazine. From Antigua in the West Indies, I'm Jake de Boer.
And I'm Mieke de Boer, and bye for now.